Hello, welcome to the channel. I'm here with Pastor Andrew, and good news, Pastor Andrew's finally leaving us and going back to America.
Getting away from Gary is just going to do a lot for my life.
You can't take it anymore. And it's finally got you after 20, how many years?
21 years.
After 21 years, you're like, I'm done, and you're not even taking your family with you, your wife, you're just going to jump on a plane.
Just going to get out of here.
You're getting back to US.
Getting out of here.
All right, so why don't you share with us the real reason you're going back to USA?
Thank you, Gary, for that opportunity. People might be shocked. No, I'm going back to see my parents, and for the first reason is to see my parents. That's the first reason, and it's pretty much the only reason, except that I do enjoy going back a little bit.
Yeah.
But Philippines is so great. It's so wonderful here.
Yeah.
But I have to see my parents. I really do. They're getting older, and there are some things going on in their life that I need to see them and take care of.
Now, when was the last time you went back to US?
Last year, actually. Last year, a little bit less than 1 year from today.
That's right. It was shortly after we first met each other.
Yeah, it was.
And you headed off to America. So there you go. And is this something you do most, like every year almost, or? I mean, because you went last year. When was the time before that, for instance?
It used to be every 2 years. During the pandemic, we actually booked a flight, and then it was shut down. Everything was shut down. You know, that was 2020, I think, and everything was shut down, and we couldn't go. And we were able to rebook the same ticket in last year, 2022. And this would be 2023. Most likely, we will be going every year from now on.
Okay.
Because my parents are getting older, and I just need to see them.
No, of course you do. That's important. So, tell me, you've been in Dumaguete for 21 years? 22 years?
Actually, it's 22 years.
22 years you've been living...
No, it's 23 years.
Okay. 23 years you've been living here in Dumaguete. Right, the whole time Dumaguete.
The whole time in Dumaguete.
And what do you find, when you go back to US on these trips, do you... have that feeling when you get back to US, like, oh, thank goodness I'm back in US, or do you start like within a couple of days? Are you already like, oh, I miss Dumaguete? What's your feelings like about going back to US?
Yeah, I do miss the Philippines when I go back. The first 10 years going back to the US, I loved it. I was absolutely, I loved it, and it was so relaxing to go to just. I live in a small town, and we grow our own vegetables and fruits and things, and I absolutely loved it for the first 10 years or so. And then I started getting more and more in love with the Philippines, and I actually missed the Philippines more than I loved being in the States. And I think I'm now at that point where I actually wouldn't go back to America except for my parents, and maybe my brother as well, but
right.
I shouldn't say maybe, he might be watching. Of course, my brother's a big part of it. But and I really wouldn't go back except for my family. But I do love when I go back and we get together with my family, my cousins, and it's enjoyable.
So tell me about the town that you're going to. I mean, is this where your parents live? I mean, what's it like? What's the name of it, first of all? Where exactly is it?
It's called Wilton. We spend a lot of time in Farmington. Both of these are neighboring towns. Farmington's a little bit bigger. It's about the size of Dumaguete, I would say, but it's just considered a town in the U.S. It's a nice, quaint little town. Wilton, when I go back there, it's interesting. Nothing has changed.
Really? Except the prices.
Well, the prices have changed. Yeah, and it's a wonderful, wonderful place. It really is. And I do love going back and just seeing what's new. If there is anything new, in Farmington, quite a few things have changed. It's a university town, but in Wilton, not much has changed. Now, in that area in Maine doesn't change a whole lot. For those who know Maine, it doesn't change a whole lot. Even in the cities, Portland has not changed a whole lot either.
Right.
In the past 20 years, there's been a lot of change, but in the past few years, there hasn't been a ton of change in Portland, Maine, in the big cities.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with your area at all. It's like East Coast, right?
East Coast, yeah.
I've never No, I went to Chicago once. You know, short visit, but that's the only time. You get some pretty brutal winters, don't you, over there?
You do, which is why I'm not going in the winter.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But, you know, this is the first time I've gone in August. Usually I would go in June or July.
Okay. So why are you going in August this year?
Well, why am I going in August? A lot of things. First of all, my niece was in summer school and I didn't want to leave when she was taking classes.
Right, right.
I guess actually that's the primary reason. I was originally going to leave on August 1, and then I realized her birthday is August 1, so I decided to change it and leave on August 2 instead. So yeah, and this is going to be the first time I'm there in August. There was one time I was back in August, but this will be the first time in almost 15 years, and I'm going to be at the perfect time for fruits and vegetables and a lot of good things in the garden.
There you go. So what's the one thing you're most, apart from seeing your parents and family, of course, what's the one thing you're most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to seeing my towns, Farmington and Wilton, and just hanging out there and going to some old cafes. And I do love the cafe culture there. I do love there's always live music, and I love that. Not loud bands, but just acoustic music, and I love that. And I just like to feel the jive of those places. It's a lot like it would be in the Philippines, but there's some differences and some similarities as well.
Very cool. And this is the town you grew up in?
This is, both of these places I spent a lot of time in. I spent more time actually in Farmington, which is our neighboring town, because my father worked there, and I spent a lot of time there, and you know, the art scene and the university scene. And I love to go back there and just see what's changed.
Were you born there?
I was born in Wilton, yes.
Okay, so that really is home.
It is home. Yeah.
Okay.
And I spent a lot of time there doing athletic events and swimming and playing in the park and things.
Yeah, very cool. So once you get there, what do you think would be the first things you start missing about Dumaguete?
The church. And you, Gary,
yeah.
you.
Yeah, okay. I appreciate you saying that, but...
I miss the church. I really will. And I'll miss my family, of course. My wife is not going with me, and
right.
I will really miss
now,
them.
how come you're not taking your wife with you?
She has to prepare for school.
Oh, yeah,
so
good
it's
point.
like between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, she's a teacher, right?
Yeah.
At Silliman.
Yeah.
And so school years, in fact, next month, my daughter, bless her, starting at Silliman.
Oh, congratulations.
In kindergarten too, and actually in 2 weeks. So.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
nice.
okay. And you're going to be gone for 2 weeks?
2 weeks,
Yeah,
short
that's
visit.
pretty quick. Okay, you know, I went, it wasn't my last trip, it might have been. I'd booked a trip, I think, for 1 month. Really, I got over there and there was all these things I thought I was going to be able to do. I had some doctor visits and stuff I wanted to take care of. When I got back, I found I took care of the things I needed to pretty quick. And I didn't know what to do with myself. I was actually missing the Philippines. And I actually, literally, I paid a little extra fee to change my flight and bring it back sooner.
Oh,
and
really?
I did, yeah, I did. And I didn't stay there the whole time.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, you never told me that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was over there. I mean, it was costing me a lot of money. I missed, obviously I missed, that was when I was, I wasn't married yet, but that's when I was with my wife-to-be, with Leah. And I was missing her.
That's natural, okay.
Yeah, and I just wasn't particularly enjoying it. It's like, don't you find this often when you return home, you have this fantasy of all the things that you're excited about and things you miss, and just the idea of, oh, this is home. But then when you go back, it never seems to live up to the hype you've built up in your mind. It always seems to be a bit of a letdown. Do you find that, or is that just me?
I do find that. It's funny because the first few times I was home, I did have many things I was going to do at home, and I wanted to, most of them having to do with relaxing or being with friends, and I hardly got any of those accomplished. I just spent a lot of time doing great things that I did as well, hanging around with the family, but I had so many things that I wanted to do and people I wanted to see, and I rarely got these things done.
Yeah.
And I did miss the Philippines, and I do miss the Philippines. I miss home. This is home.
Well, this is your home now. It's been your home for most of your life, really. So, you know, I can understand that. So what are the things you're going to do with your parents when you get back there? You got any plans? You're going to take them anywhere? You got anything set up, special events or anything that you're going to do?
Hang out with them and just enjoy. And we do have some plays we're going to go to. My father loves plays and the arts, and just other than that, just hang out and maybe do some simple hikes together.
That'd be nice.
Talk about Jesus.
Yeah.
I will talk about God with them.
Yeah, no, that's important because your father's not a believer, right?
Right, he's not.
Okay.
And things may have changed a little bit since he had this medical incident, minor stroke, and you know, I just want to. Yeah.
Sorry about that, by the way.
Well, he's getting better. Thank you.
Good.
He's getting a lot better, and I would like to talk about that in light of God and in light of eternity and see where he is now.
Well, that's important, of course. I'm curious, how did your father take it the day you told him that you're going into the ministry and you're going to be a pastor? Was he very supportive, or did he think, oh no, my son has lost his mind? Or what did he think?
It's a funny thing what he did. He was proud of me.
Wow.
He was proud, and he actually bragged about it to a lot of our relatives.
Well, that's interesting.
And I thought that was very interesting. He showed his picture of me being installed or ordained as the pastor and associate pastor at that time. Right. He was proud. He was proud.
Wow. No, that's that's nice to hear because, and I'm sure I think I've shared this with you, but when I first became a Christian, you know, I did fall away. We all know that. But when I did go through that short spell of time where I was like, yeah, I'm a Christian. I felt on fire. I was like excited. I mean, I did go through a short spell of time where I felt that way. And when I shared this with my father, my mother was already deceased, but when I shared this with my father and my sisters, they wanted to disown me. They thought I was, I'd gone crazy. I'd been sucked up into some cult or something, and I was delusional. And they just, this started a long time of being mocked by them. Well, my father used to come out and visit me in America. Usually at dinner, after he's had a couple of glasses of wine, he would find amusement in laughing about Bible stories and basically humiliating me for even believing in God. Yeah. So I didn't get the support you got.
Well, it's interesting. My family very different than yours. I think there a lot of unbelieving people in the family. In fact, my mother's the only one out of all of my extended family. But they're all I wouldn't say supportive, but they're accepting of it, and they're very respectful. And when I talk to them about it, they listen. And I'm not saying that their mind is being changed, but they just listen and they accept the belief system that I have. And maybe, who knows, maybe someday someone will open up their mind and their heart to that.
Yeah. Well, we'll pray for that and pray for you, and
thank you.
Pray that your father's mind is opened more and his heart is open, and he can be receptive to maybe what you have to say to him. Although sometimes it's difficult when you're the son. Do you find that difficult? You know that even though you're a pastor, but when a son is trying to change the father, it's a little more difficult than if it's an outsider.
It is difficult, and that's why, Gary, I want to bring you with me.
I don't know if I'd be the best person, but
well, no, it is seriously, it is difficult, and even with my cousins, it's quite difficult because, for whatever reason, they just see me as the old Andrew that they know, that, and they're unwilling to change. I think.
I understand that. Well, anyway, I'm going to wish you the best of luck on this trip. We'll be praying for you, praying for your safety, and praying that everything just goes well, praying you stay healthy.
Well, thank you.
So I do hope it is a wonderful time. Thanks for coming back on my channel, because you're not going to, you haven't been on my channel as much because we started our own channel.
Right.
And so for those that don't know or haven't seen yet, that I did a lot of videos with Andrew on my channel, and we decided, because we did so many things together, we decided to start a separate channel so that we could put all our content just in one place. So the channel name is, at this point, is Gary and Pastor Andrew in the Philippines. Which is subject to change. We want to come up with something else, but we haven't quite come up with the title we want yet. So, hey, if you've got any ideas, we'd appreciate it. But the channel's definitely going to be more focused on Christianity, and just a lot of inspirational talks, interviews,
Devotions.
Bible study. We're going to start when you come back from US. We're going to start a Bible study. So, if this is of interest to you, please, when you finish watching this video, go check out the channel. And if you like what we're doing there, please subscribe and watch a couple of the videos and give us some feedback.
Amen.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that. So again, thanks, Andrew. We'll be praying for you, and I'm glad you're only going for 2 weeks and you're not just deserting me and leaving me out here right now. So
I wouldn't do that, Gary.
well, your wife wouldn't appreciate it either.
And we can do online. We can do online things as well.
We may do something online, so we'll do it. So best of luck. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother Gary, and God bless you.
You got it. Good
Bye-bye.
luck with everything.
Take
Okay,
care.
see you guys on my next video. Bye-bye.